Donald Trump's national press secretary for his campaign, Caroline Leavitt, decided it would be a good idea for some reason to go on CNN late last week opposite host John Berman so that she could, get some really good punches in there against Kamala Harris. The problem is, Leavitt decided to get those punches in against Harris by ignoring the actual questions that host John Berman was actually asking her, which prompted Berman to have to repeatedly, not once, not twice, but thrice, ask her again and again and again, could you please just answer the question that I'm asking you about your boss, Donald Trump, going insane on social media? But Leavitt didn't want to talk about that for very obvious reasons, and as a result, pretty much got smacked down as hard as humanly possible by Berman. So here's the clip. Gotta stick with it. It's a little bit long, but it's definitely worth it. Take a look.
Let me ask you a follow-up to my initial question here. Even if what you say, taking your argument there, if the voters in all these states are seeing the vice president as the candidate of change, does it tell you that maybe they are beginning to see a Republican nominee who's 78 years old and been running for president for 9 years? Is that beginning to have an impact?
Well, just two things on your earlier points. Kamala Harris was named the border czar. She was appointed by Joe Biden in that position. And the truth is the border has been a complete disaster. Everyone recognizes that. And energy prices, gasoline prices are still 50% higher today under Kamala Harris than they were under President Trump. And if you look further and deeper into these polls, if you look at the issues that matter to voters, like immigration, like the economy, like foreign policy, where we've seen war erupt all over this world under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, voters trust Donald Trump on those issues. They trust him because he, again, has a first-term record to stand on. And you brought up Donald Trump's age, so I do want to mention it. This race is not about age. It's about competence. And President Trump has proven to be a leader who can bring stability back to this world, who can bring peace through this world, who can make America strong again. And that's why voters trust him on the issues that matter.
She was not appointed the border czar. She was appointed to deal with the Northern Triangle. You say Donald Trump is the candidate of stability. You say that Donald Trump was the candidate of stability. Why was Donald Trump, over the last 36 hours on his social media, reposting slogans from QAnon and reposting misogynistic, sexist content about Vice President Harris?
Well, look, I don't think your viewers at home are concerned about social media posts. I think they are concerned with the news of the day. And the news of the day is that a Venezuelan illegal immigrant crime gang has taken over a hotel in rural Colorado because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's open border policies. The news of the day is that, again, gasoline prices are 50% higher today than they were under Donald Trump. The news of the day as a new mother. Do you know why he posted that? Do you know why he reposted that content? I haven't been able to talk to President Trump yet this morning because he is calling into media interviews, unlike Kamala Harris, who has been avoiding the press.
All right, a ton to unpack there. But let's start with the fact that John Berman did something that I absolutely loved during that segment, and it's not just pushing her to answer the questions that he asked. What he did repeatedly was fact check her. In fact, in part of the segment, which you can find in the link in the description of this video. But if you watch the whole thing, right before the part of the clip that I showed you, he had fact-checked her about something else because she was whining about gas prices. So he pointed out that domestic oil production here in the United States is literally at an all-time high. So there is nothing more we could do in terms of energy exploitation here in the United States to lower those gas prices. In fact, here in the United States, we don't even set our own gas prices. No, that oil cartel known as OPEC gets to do that. And in spite of our begging and pleading with them, they have not lowered the prices. And then we turn around and continue to sell those countries controlling these high prices more and more weapons to go and kill innocent civilians across the Middle East. But that is in fact a segment for a different day. And yes, I'm referring to Saudi Arabia, who, for the record, we actually just announced another major arms deal with them, even though they've repeatedly told President Biden to his face they're not going to do anything to, help lower gas prices. So that's the kind of people we do business with, and we just accept it as normal. But anyway, after that tangent, my apologies, didn't mean to sound like Trump there. Berman called her out on that. And then he goes into this, right? Donald Trump spent all of last week, not just the last 36 hours like Berman said. It started last Sunday on Twitter, not just on Truth Social, but on Twitter, where Donald Trump was just having these very public, nonstop, week-long nervous breakdowns. Posting QAnon crap, posting the absolutely vulgar sexual innuendo post. It wasn't even an innuendo. It was very explicit, but I'm not going to repeat it, about Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. And he wanted answers like, why is your boss doing this? What has broken inside of his brain that he thinks this is a smart idea or some kind of brilliant campaign strategy? Who is he winning over with this? You know, that's the point that Berman was trying to get through Karoline Leavitt's head, trying to make her understand that, yes, this is an issue for you and your candidate. You guys have to figure this out because the public has been watching in real time as Donald Trump slowly goes insane on Truth Social. And Leavitt had no response. Her only response is, well, Kamala Harris was a border czar, and he had to call her out for that. Like, that's a word, a phrase y'all made up. Like, that's not even a thing that actually happened. You weirdos created it in your head. You, conservative media, slapped that label on her because you liked it. And now you're mad that she was appointed this. No, she was appointed that thing by conservative media. Y'all made the title up. And then she refused to answer the question, getting combative, saying, I don't think your viewers care about what he's posting on social media. Go ahead and keep that attitude up. Like the, oh, people don't care about this stuff attitude. See how that plays out for you in November, because I'm willing to bet it's not going to have the impact that you think it is, at least not in the way you think it is. It will have an impact. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. When you have a candidate that is obviously losing his mind, but not just losing his mind behind the scenes, right? You know, for months, Republicans have been telling us, like, obviously the administration was hiding Biden's mental problems. I bet y'all wish that Trump was hiding his, right? I bet y'all wish that nobody knew how insane this man is, or the level to which he is suffering this cognitive decline. I bet you're a little jealous now, huh? But Trump is doing it publicly. He is doing it openly. He's almost even doing it proudly. And yes, contrary to what Karoline Leavitt says, the public is taking notice of this. Why? Because the media finally took notice of this. If the media had ignored these stories, you would have heard about it, of course, you know, in progressive YouTube channels. I'd have talked about it. Packman, Cedar, Young Turks, all of us would have talked about it. But you wouldn't have seen it on CNN or MSNBC or in the Washington Post and New York Times. But they did pick up on it. So when the corporate media picks up on it, Karoline, it does become something of interest for the public. Kind of like a car wreck. You don't want to stare, but you can't look away. And now that they're paying attention, it will become a massive campaign issue for you. Because even though you think it's no big deal, trust you me, he did not win over a single undecided voter with his week-long nervous breakdown on Truth Social. Hi everyone, this here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.